Good day, Internet.
Hey, Internet.
I didn't see you there.
Hi, Internet.
Oh, hi, Internet.
Oh, Internet. I pretended not to see you because I didn't want an awkward hello in the hallway at the
Would
office.
everyone like to see my oat boat rock?
I
Yay. Oh, boat. A fitting
cute?
tribute.
Isn't that cute? Yeah.
It is.
Allison and Steve, friends of the show, good friends of the show, sent me that, and unexpected and really lovely.
That is
Isn't
lovely.
that one of the greatest things we got when Sawyer died was our dog walker who like watched him, especially later in life when it was hard to take care of him, like still gave us stained glass of a border collie looking off in the distance, and she's like, I just found this, and I was like, oh my gosh, that looks like Sawyer, and got it
Oh,
for
that's
us.
so cute.
Yeah. So those kinds of things they're very touching. They're very sweet.
They are, and so many people have been very kind to me over the last couple weeks, but just wanted to show you my rock,
Yeah.
my new cool rock.
That
I don't know
rocks.
where to put it. I'm like, where do I put
Yeah.
it? Where do I put the rock? Like, I want it to be like, maybe I put a shelf above the couch and have the rock up there, and then I have to put other. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Something like that, though, right? Like a
Yeah.
little something that can move
something
with
cute.
you. Obviously, you don't want to put it out in the backyard.
Well, we don't have a backyard, but in the front yard, I'm like, no, like somebody else's dog is gonna pee on
It's
it.
gonna be on in tribute.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's just dogs.
Yeah, it's a dog tribute,
Yeah.
like a Viking funeral. So how is everybody's Monday going? It seems like we're a little, getting rolling here and getting some momentum.
We are, Justin, how are you feeling now that you can hear us?
I'm doing good. Just wanted to go over
Yeah.
the prep sheet real quick before the show,
So-
since I missed the rundown.
Any questions?
No.
Do you know what we're talking about?
Just hum a few bars and I'll catch up.
I think
Roger
we're
had
good
a
to go.
hum on his line. You had the headphone thing. I've got like weird bandwidth issues that just keep dogging me. Like it's one of those days for everybody. So
Just one of those days.
Well, thankfully, I'm perfect.
well,
That's
yeah.
true.
So
As per usual.
why we need
No,
you
things are going good. It's a short week because I am off to Vegas for DEF CON.
Oh yeah, you're going up to the regular pilgrimage.
Yes, I got roped in many years ago working with the Hack 5 gangs, and so this is my yearly re-up for hacker cred.
This is you have more hacker cred than me because I've never been to DEF CON and I'm definitely afraid of it.
when are you
It's
going?
mostly harmless.
Tomorrow?
It's
I know.
mostly just a bunch of middle class to upper class professionals in utility-kilts.
Ooh, that is
But
very
Black
gingery.
Hat, on the other hand,
Yeah, no, it's great, and this is going to be a very, very interesting DEF CON for reasons that people will know tomorrow on the Hack 5 website.
Ooh.
In fact, I
Quite the
think there
tease.
may or may not be a. Let me double check this.
HAK5.org.
I don't know if anyone besides me drinks ginger tea regularly.
Eileen does.
Eileen does, of
Yeah.
course. It's it's delicious and good for you. But I make it like from scratch, with like actual ginger, and then I boil the tea and
Ooh, nice.
yeah, and so it's not sweet or anything, but today I may have overdone the ginger a little bit.
Oh yeah. We make that.
It is very gingery, and not in a bad way. I'm like, what's it gonna do? Just make me not, be seasick?
Ginger me more. Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's gonna make that digestion so good.
I guess so. Let's hope.
Yeah. So there's a countdown on the Hack 5 website for their 20th anniversary, which is tomorrow.
Oh wow.
Wow, 20
And,
years.
I will say if you like Hack 5 hardware, it'll be an interesting when the clock strikes zeros.
There may be something there.
1 minute.
It'll be interesting.
Keep an eye out,
And
hak5.org.
I think it's going to be a busy DEF CON is what my prediction is. It's
You'd
going
be
to
doing the business.
Busy.
Do you wrap your phone in tinfoil when you go to
No.
DEF CON? No.
I'm the worst. I'm probably like root firmware
Justin's like,
hacked.
hack me.
I'm like using my AirPods. Like it's just
Justice is wearing a shirt that says "Pwn me."
I don't care.
already
Like
said.
it's fine.
I mean,
I'll put
I'm
it
sure
this way.
you care to a point.
You know what? That probably works to your advantage because everybody thinks you're a honeypot. They're like, that's too easy.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not going after him.
One time, Darren's phone got hacked because it was like a cloned radio tower, which is like stuff that is like nation state level stuff. So I'm like, look, I don't care. Either I turn my phone off or it's on. And if it's on, which it's going to have to be, then it's going to be.
Have a good show, everybody.
Good day, Internet. This is DTNS Live for Monday, August 4th, 2025. From Studio Animal House, I'm Sarah Lane.
From Studio 7 in Los Angeles, I'm Tom Merritt.
From deep in the heart of Texas, I'm Justin Robert Young.
And I'm Roger Chang, the show's producer.
DTNS Live is made possible by you. Thanks to every single one of you, including that Charlie Dude, Justin Zellers, Carmine Bailey. We got a lot of new patrons to thank over the weekend. Rami, Lutapi, Brianne, Sebi, and Tonic.
Hey, look at that. 5 new patrons on a Monday.
Mixer of new patrons. I love it. Yeah,
Oh,
good stuff.
yeah. Welcome, one and all. Hope you enjoy the show, and welcome everyone to DTNS Live, the show where we discuss the tech news to help us all understand it a little bit better. Justin Robert Young, how the heck are you?
Oh, I'm living life, Sarah, one day at a time. I put my pants on one leg at a time, and I do these metaphors one at a time.
Train every day. Get a good nickname. Train every day.
Yeah, when was your last leg day?
Well, I normally do the high intensity workout, so we don't really put it into leg day or arm day. But my legs are particularly sore because I've been doing more intensive treadmill work.
Oh,
Orange is not just a theory for you.
No, it's a fact. Orange fact is where I go every day at 5 a.m.
I don't. When I say leg day, I'm like I don't even know what leg day is.
Squats.
I just know that the whole leg day never thing is a meme on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For people
The next
who,
time-
upper body yes, leg day never.
Upper body business.
The next time I wake up at 3 a.m, I'm going to think Justin's exercising right now.
That's true. That's
The time
true.
difference. Yeah.
I saw a thing on the internet today that Kevin Garnett was saying that part of the reason why more NBA players are tearing their Achilles is because they don't do enough calf raises.
Really?
Yeah,
And?
that's a little news you can use.
Was
That
that-
apparently it has fallen out of favor for that reason that Sarah was saying that people are less meticulous about leg workouts even for professional athletes, and that if they're running as fast and as hard as they are, they need to train commensurate to that with their calves.
Well, let this be a lesson to all of you. You
can do it while
never
you're
skip
listening
leg
right now.
day,
Never skip leg day, Tyrese Halliburton and Jason
lest
Tatum.
you tear your Achilles, which
Nope.
is probably a injury you don't want.
No.
It's all Greek to me.
Well, if you are watching live, you can name this episode. This is DTNS Live, by the way, the show where we discuss the tech news to help us all understand it a little bit better. Sometimes we talk about leg day. Sometimes
Yeah.
we don't.
Yeah.
But if you are interested already, because we're already talking about stuff, head on over to dtns.showbot.tv to submit titles for the show. We will look at them throughout the show, and we'll check back in on the votes at the end of the show, and we will crown a winner. All right, let's kick it off with a few stories that caught our eye today.
Mastercard says it, and I quote, has not evaluated any gain or required restrictions of any activity on game creator sites and platforms. So it's not going after those adult games. But Valve and itch.io say that payment processors like Stripe and PayPal tell them that Mastercard is worried about damages to its brand related to purchases of adult content. Hence, the push to remove otherwise legal games from the platforms. So it's all a game of three Spider-Men pointing at each other. Itch.io has begun relisting such games on its platform as long as they are free. They're like, hey, if we're not processing any payments, we'll list you.
Yeah, I wonder whether or not this is going to continue to evolve. The fact that MasterCard even commented on it, I think, is probably a better sign for people that want this to move in a more free speech direction.
Because they're feeling public pressure to not be associated with the payments. Now they're feeling public pressure to not censor the games. So, yeah.
I mean, in general, these kinds of issues are always hard politically, and I'm going to use that broadly beyond elected office, because nobody wants to say, like, wherefore smut, right? That's not usually a thing that earns space in the corporate world. But if they're responding to it, it means that there's enough pressure on them that they do feel like they need to respond.
Well, Lyft and Baidu have partnered to launch robotaxi services next year in Germany and also the UK. Baidu, obviously a Chinese company, but we're talking Europe. The rollout will use Baidu's RT6 autonomous vehicles on Lyft's platform, with eventual plans to scale to thousands of cars across Europe. Lyft now operates in 9 countries and over 180 cities outside of North America, where it began. Under the agreement, Lyft will oversee operations, customer support, fleet logistics. Baidu will provide the driverless tech and vehicles.
Yeah, they have a similar deal with Uber in the Middle East that's launching by the end of this year. So I feel like this is the future. You're going to have logistics providers helping you get the ride and the car makers providing the rides.
Yep. A lot of cars without human drivers aboard.
I saw a robotaxi mapping car outside of the Chipotle 2 days ago. In the Sunset Valley area here.
What did it order?
Waymos all the time.
Did it order a burrito bowl?
Waymos are all over the place here, but the robotaxi mapping cars are very funny because they're basically just Teslas with a tripod on them. Like all the other mapping cars,
I see.
Like are very high tech, and they got 9 sensors on them, and the Tesla one is just a regular Model S with the thing on top.
Did it order anything? I'm with Roger. I'm curious.
No. I was sitting in the Chipotle and I watched it.
It wasn't there.
No. But thank you for asking me twice. I got double meat.
Cloudflare published research Monday showing that AI startup Perplexity was bypassing blocks on site scraping, blocking site scraping, and using stealth to hide crawling and scraping activities. In a blog post, Cloudflare said they were able to ID the crawler using a combination of machine learning and network signals, and that it delisted Perplexity's bots from its verified list, as well as working up some new ways to stop them from scraping sites.
Perplexity says it's not doing it, though. They're like, this is a misunderstanding of what's going on. So somebody's not telling the whole truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, unless both companies are acting, totally above board, somebody's lying.
Something doesn't add up. But I'm
Something
curious.
Doesn't add up.
I'm curious to see what part 2 of this episode reveals next week.
I do think that this moment in AI reminds me a lot of the beginning of YouTube, where YouTube was built on a lot of stuff that was questionably uploaded and then eventually found itself a deal to be made when the owners of that content realized it was more profitable to be on that platform than not be on that platform. Cloudflare is setting itself up as a guardian, and I think that we are a microtransaction deal and framework away from from owning a website being more profitable than it's been in a very, very, very long time.
Yeah.
Well, those were 3 top stories that caught our eye today, but wait, there's more. Elon Musk, owner of X, says that the company is working to restore the Vine video archive, which was believed to be lost after the app shut down way back in 2016. Seems like a lifetime ago. It's unclear if Vine is going to officially relaunch in some form, but Musk framed the move as part of, nostalgia, people loved Vine, and part promotion for Grok Imagine. That's X's new AI video tool that is being dubbed AI Vine, at least by Musk. The announcement could signal more of a marketing push for Grok than an actual serious effort to bring back that human-made Vine content. However, if that does come back and there really is, a big video archive, who's into this?
To be honest, I'm going to say this. I am having a very hard time recalling any video that I've seen on Vine. I'm sure there's plenty, and they've all made the transition over to another platform. But
well, okay, so just to jog everybody's memories, so Vine used to be 6-second videos.
Yep.
That's how it launched. It changed over the years, but that was how it launched, and it forced people to be very, very creative in a very short amount of time. That was also, when Vine went away and TikTok came on the scene, musically, before it was TikTok, but you understand what platform I'm talking about. It was the same idea. People liked it. They liked the fact that, it doesn't take a long time, to watch, 10, 12, 20 of these videos. They're all very succinct. People are being creative. It's fun. People are dancing, blah, blah, blah. TikTok is a very different network now. You can still do that. But that was Vine created that.
Well, yeah.
Vine created Logan Paul and Shawn Mendes.
Yeah, Vine was an extraordinarily influential platform in the moment, and you can really say that it pushed before TikTok and Musical.ly became what they were. It was Instagram and YouTube that were really pushed by Vine and wound up absorbing a lot of the talent that was homegrown there. I don't know what that archive is now. I don't know what it matters, what it means. Obviously, there are some people that are now far bigger than they were, and I'm sure that there's a nostalgic home for that. I am positive that every single frame of that data has probably been used to train a video LLM for Grok, because
that's why they found it, right?
Yeah,
they didn't find it because they were looking so hard for the Vine archive. They were looking for every scrap of video data they already owned, so they don't get in the trouble Perplexity is.
And I would love to know, how was it magically found? Oh, we thought it was lost. Oh no, look, this server has all the Vine content.
Stuff gets on disconnected hard drives or poked away in a corner.
A lot of people work, and there's been a lot of turnover at that company specifically. Yeah. So who knows where some of these things are. I don't know. I think Vine's moment is gone. If you wanted to, you probably make more money selling Vine t-shirts to people that remember Vine fondly, or doing Vine as some kind of branded lifestyle brand, than you would actually bringing the app back. The reality for waterfall video is that it has come a long way, and X actually has a really competitive product there. Whenever you play a video full screen on X, it auto waterfalls, unlike YouTube or TikTok. It auto waterfalls to the next thing, and they tend to have better news content than some of those other apps.
Yeah, and honestly, I think this is a great way for X to get some attention, because Vine is looked on lovingly and nostalgically. It'll have a moment where a bunch of people will want to see that archive and relive the old days. And like every nostalgic moment like that, after they've done it for, 20 minutes, everyone will be like, well, that was fun, and move on. Like, there's not a product there, I don't think.
Let me ask you guys this. Have you, because part of this is a push for a AI-centric Vine, right? So you could prompt your way to make videos that would then go viral. Have you guys enjoyed all AI art? And if you have, what has it been? Do you believe that there is a lane for a platform that is entirely defined by that?
A lane, you said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You talking to me? No, I think I don't know. I think there is a lane for this kind of content. If AI generated content is, number one, funny, number two, poignant, number three, I don't know, even getting people riled up type stuff.
Have you seen AI content that you knew it was unmistakable, it wore it on its sleeve, this is AI stuff, but you enjoyed it?
Yes.
What is it?
We talked about this last week. Some of the short film, folks who are doing completely AI generated short films that are cool, tell a story, look, you're not hiring human actors necessarily, but stuff like that. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think the more creativity in the world, the better. Yeah. And so the idea of Vine coming back as some AI version of itself is not unlike, to me using Giphy to send somebody a silly GIF, that's, repeating that, is, it doesn't even really have to be relevant. It's just funny. So I think a lot of this stuff doesn't have to be throwaway funny, but I think that's a big part of this.
Tom, AI art that you've enjoyed?
No, I can't think. Well, was the cat thing you sent me AI?
Yes,
Sarah?
Tom.
Okay,
the cats were not
yes.
actually wearing suits and walking on their two hind legs.
I wasn't sure.
You never know in this
I
day
always
and age.
check. So yeah, I did enjoy that.
So a silly video about cats in suits.
Yeah.
Roger?
I will say this is sort of a, what do they call it? A guilty pleasure, but on YouTube, there's a channel where they just ruin things with AI. Like they take like a movie trailer and they purposefully really lean into kind of the
that
sort
sounds
of
fun. I want to see that.
The trash elements of
exactly.
slop.
Like exactly where they take it's like a Home Alone and they add bits where the whole floor turns to lava and they all burn up.
Gotcha.
And then there's that one audio editor there that does a channel there. I've ruined it where they make
that I almost don't care because that's exceptionally great work and AI is just kind of used as a tool.
But that's, I mean, if you were to group it, that is one of them that stands out where he does two videos. He does one which is what Pearl Jam sounds like to people who hate Pearl Jam, and what the Red Hot Chili Peppers sounds like to people who hate the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
So I just looked up Die Hard with AI, and the first thing on Reddit that was presented to me is Die Hard with a cat. And I'm not listening to the audio because I'm trying to be present for the show, but this looks like a short film I would watch.
There we go. I will say TikTok has been the home of the AI stuff that I've found the most funny, that leans into it. They are either extraordinarily raunchy country songs. For whatever reason, that is something that AI music does well. Because no human would record at this level these kind of lyrics that are that filthy.
You always want to do something where, no one would ever be able to do this until now.
Human decency would not allow these lyrics to be recorded at this. It's like making an AI country song every day is like the trend, right? And then some of them wind up being funny enough that they have reaction videos and stuff like that. And this is another thing that wound up spawning multiple accounts, but very earnest mega church style sermons done by Bigfoot.
Oh, wow.
So
did not know how you were going to
There's no
finish
punchline. There's no punchline. It's just as if you were watching the feed of a megachurch sermon, but it's Bigfoot delivering it. And for whatever reason, it's one of the funniest things that I've ever seen.
And the audio is an edit. It's like the actual legit sermon, and it's just
I imagine that it all bears the hallmarks of VO audio. That specifically, there's a thing you can tell VO audio because the mics don't sound very round.
Not
they sound
voiceover
kind of
VO, but VO.
No, VO3. VEO3. But with Google, all of their audio sounds very, very flat, and so that's the reason why a lot of the stuff that winds up going viral are like remotes from a television thing or a church mic or something like that, because it's not supposed to sound round and pleasing. It's supposed to sound kind of flat and there. But yeah, those are the kind of things. But I still, even having enjoyed that, I don't know if I would go to a site right now where I would be promised that a human couldn't then react to it. Like watching people react to things or remix them is part of the fun. At least
my gosh,
now.
YouTube reaction videos are my favorite videos.
Yeah, maybe down the road I will just want, because the one thing that AI will always be able to do is create more and faster than anybody else. And so it's like, if this is popular, I'll be able to get 80 of those videos within 48 hours.
Yeah. And the only way one of these things becomes AI Vine is by reminding everyone what Vine was. And then, like, it doesn't have to recapture Vine to be something people want.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of when they finally got around to making a movie for John Carter of Mars, where once it had been made, you've realized that story and mythos had been ripped off like 17 different ways that had made far more successful franchises of their own. And then they made the thing and they're like, oh, this is like kind of like a ripoff of Star Wars and Dune and everything else.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk rollable screen laptops, shall we? Lenovo's rollable screen laptop is a real thing, and you can actually buy it if you got the money. So, Tom, how much are we talking?
We're talking $3,299. That's how much you'll pay for the ThinkBook Plus Gen 6. It has a 14-inch OLED display. You might think like, oh, well, that's pretty normal, 14-inch OLED display. 2000 by 1600 resolution, 120 hertz refresh rate, nice ThinkPad. But at the press of a button, it takes 8 seconds to unroll itself into a 16.7-inch version of the same screen. And The Verge says it's heavy, screen's a little creaky and plasticky, but otherwise, they loved it. They said it made a world of difference for productivity, came in handy for video calls since it put the camera up at eye level, and they gave it an overall positive review. The reviewer was like, I would open up the laptop, I'd press the button, extend it to 16 inches, and I would just work like that with the bigger screen until it was time to go. Then I press the button, roll it down, put the laptop away, and now I have a regular laptop-sized thing to throw in my bag. So, round the horn, I want to know, who wants a rollable screen in their laptop? Justin, we'll start with you.
No, but I think that this is going in a direction that we've seen kind of a bunch of different stabs at, which is in an on-the-go situation, how do you get more real estate? It's part of the reason why the Apple Vision Pro took a stab at that. This is a hardware solve for it. I don't know if I want this one, but maybe down the road, I'll want something that physically extends.
Yeah. Or do you want a virtual screen that's better than the Apple Vision Pro?
That's the thing is like right now, there's a lot of different bets on like, how do I see more screen than I have?
Yeah. And honestly, I still got my X-Real glasses. They're not a bad option, even if you look like this when you wear them.
They're cute looking. I don't know why everybody says they're not, like, they're fine. Wear them.
Yeah, they look a little like you've got the glasses that you've got your eyes dilated for. But
it makes me say you got the right one, baby, because you remind me of Ray Charles.
You're just keeping out the sun. I don't think that's weird. I don't think it's weird to have large and dark glasses.
All right, around the horn, Roger. Do you want a foldable screen?
Do I want a foldable? Only if you...
Or unrollable.
Unrollable, possibly.
Rollable.
I don't think it will be this...
Yeah. Unrolls and rolls.
A fruit roll-up, a fruit roll-up screen. I would want one, but not this particular iteration. I would prefer one that's wider, like I can pull on the
You want to go
side
the other direction.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Rob Dunwood said the same thing.
Because
Sarah?
then...
Do you want to get your roll on?
Well, you get it wider, but if it allows you to fold it, you can kind of have a triptych, so you sort of have a security screen at the same time.
All right, so this is my problem with this idea. Is the idea is great. It's like, yeah, I have a small laptop most of the time, But when I have to do certain things, I want the larger screen some of the time. Great, I have options. But for me, it's like I don't really care about that stuff unless I'm on the go.
Yeah.
Am I at a coffee shop? Am I traveling? And if I am, and I can just deal with the larger screen size, then I don't really need the smaller screen size.
Well,
And
but
your mileage may vary, of course.
the key is that you have the larger screen size that is in a compact case, right?
No, I get that.
So you had the 17-inch MacBook Pro, right? When you folded it up, it was still a very huge thing. Imagine if you could have unrolled that screen and then it was a smaller form factor when you carried it
Word
around.
would have still been really, really big though. But again, yes, I get your point. This was MacBook Pro circa, I don't know, 2010. But yeah, I like the idea of this. When I think about, I don't know, the screen that I'm looking at right now, it's like 34 inches. It's very, very wide. It's like, would I ever want it to be smaller for any reason? Well, no, because I don't travel with it. So the laptop situation feels like, are you moving around with this?
Yeah, I agree.
All the time. And
This
if you
is something
are,
for
then
people
this would make a lot of sense. It's like, the bag that you put it in, is it bigger or is it smaller? And that would make sense.
I wonder who will win this race. I don't know if Lenovo is going to sell enough of these to continue to justify being able to pursue it in the future. But if they do, that's when I would start to get interested. I'd be curious to try it right now as it is, but this reminds me of the original Samsung Galaxy Fold, right? It's got some issues. It's got fewer issues than the Galaxy Fold did, honestly, because that had hinge issues and dust getting in there. Doesn't seem like there's any of those problems, but as The Verge said, it's kind of creaky. It's a little plasticky. Takes 8 seconds for that thing to unroll. Like if they can make it weigh less, because it does weigh a lot more with all that gear in there, if they can make it feel a little less rickety, and if they can make it look a little less plasticky, then I think everyone would like the option, if they need it, like Sarah said, to be able to have a bigger screen when they want it. But will Lenovo or others who make this kind of screen get to the point where they commoditize it and perfect it and bring the price down enough before somebody makes glasses that have a high resolution and are not clunky to plug in and don't have their own little quirks where you're like, oh yeah, I just project my screen in front of me?
Or that there are foldable screens that are easy to plug in or wirelessly connect to your computer, so you can just set up things around it, and now you don't have to have it built into it. Because every one of those design choices that you meant, or design problems that you mentioned, are all done in service to mitigate from another design challenge that they have.
Right.
So it's $3,000 because it costs a lot, because it has a lot of intricate stuff, but it has to feel like a piece of plastic because it's already so heavy. They needed to use lighter material.
Well, and you can't
so
roll up the glass screen. You got to have plastic to roll it up too. Those are both true.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you solve for these things in one material? It would take some kind of larger breakthrough to do it, because if you're dropping $33K or $3,300 on this,
33K would be a lot.
that's gonna be that's gonna be something that you want to feel good when you pick it up, right?
And
like,
use it for
that
years
hand
to
feel's
come.
gotta be great.
I mean, and that's the whole reason why, with the Apple Vision Pro and others, like if you can cram it on that fits on someone's face, suddenly a lot of your material cost is really just focused on the optics. You already have the plastic framing. You don't have to spend so much on an actual.
I mean, wireless X-Real 1 Pros, where I don't have to fiddle around plugging it in, with a higher resolution. Resolution's pretty good with these. I can watch video with them and they're fine, but some people will be like, it's still a little fuzzy. So higher resolution and wireless, where you can just put them on and like a Bluetooth keyboard or a Bluetooth mouse, it's suddenly your display. I feel like that has the better shot.
Well, that also takes down a little bit of the embarrassment factor, because you're going to look like a extra from Spaceballs if you put on the Apple Vision Pro at a Starbucks. You're going to be executing a comical Mr. Bean visual gag if you slowly erect your Lenovo. But if you just put on glasses, you're just kind of a dork who wears dark sunglasses indoors, which on the scale of embarrassment is by far the most tolerable.
Yeah. You'll get less conversation with the glasses. You'll get more conversations with the slowly unrolling Mr. Bean laptop, because people are like, wait, what is that? Where did you get that? So it depends on what you want, I guess.
It also, so much of this stuff it gets adopted overnight. And what I mean by that is, like, remember when, there was like the Nike Fuel Band.
Mm-hmm.
I remember they had a big splashy thing at South by Southwest back in the day. And it was like, do you want to wear this? I mean, this is now going to be basically a jewelry item. And some people were like, heck no, I'm not wearing that. And the rest of us were like, yeah, let's try it. And now, I wear an Apple Watch that I literally never take off unless I'm, in the shower. And it's not, again, not for everybody, but very accepted.
Yeah. Gangsters just stole a truck half filled with Galaxy Watch 8s from Heathrow Airport. Because
Really?
you know what? They can make use of those. They can get money for them.
Yeah.
They're in
people
demand.
buy 'em.
In it.
I'm sure that's something they
Mind the
said
gap.
while they were stealing it. Yeah. Well, folks, what do you want to hear us talk about on the show? This was fun, right? Other ways to tell us things you want to hear about is our subreddit. You can submit stories and vote on them at reddit.com/r/Daily Tech News Show.
All right, Justin. Amazon acquired the podcast network Wondery for $300 million back in 2021. We were in the throes of COVID at the time. People were listening to podcasts. Now, Amazon says it's splitting up the studio, laying off 110 workers, thereabouts, and merging the rest of them with Amazon's Audible team, citing the push towards more video content. Jen Sargent, Wondery CEO, is going to leave Amazon. So what are we thinking here? Amazon, gave it a go and decided it wasn't worth it?
No, I think that they just are going to harvest the elements of Wondery that makes the most sense to them, because I'm here to tell you, folks, it happened again. That same old song. Video killed the radio star one more time. This is a triumph of video over audio. That's the reason why this is happening. Part of what Wondery was an extension of a brand of content that is hard to make video for. And that is NPR inspired, This American Life specifically, rich audio, tapestry, feast for the ears kind of content. Everything else in podcasting, including many of the shows that Wondery has made a lot of money on, are fairly easy to make into video. You just got to turn on a camera in front of Dax Shepard or the Kelsey brothers and boom, now your podcast is also a video podcast and you can leverage it in multiple different venues. Harder to do with these serialized stories. And until that becomes easier, maybe AI solves some of that, it means that Wondery's unique brand is just quite, it's just not there. And so what Amazon is doing is basically harvesting everything that makes money out of Wondery. They're going to put it under Audible. They're going to push a lot of their top talent into their kind of in-house influencer relations realm in Amazon proper. And they're going to move on. But make no mistake, this is because the serial revolution has hit its natural endpoint. If you can't put it on YouTube or make a video version of it, it's just not gonna hit the same kind of way.
Well,
in
and
podcasting.
I know this is it's sort of funny, or at least head scratching, because we're talking about this as we do a podcast that is a video podcast right now, but the majority of people don't watch, they listen. And that is just, maybe it's just what you're used to, et cetera, et cetera. You're commuting, you're busy with other things. I listen to a lot of podcasts that I know that there is a video version. In fact, many of them are also on Patreon. And I just go like, listening is fine. We're good with that. But that also depends very much on what I'm doing. This whole kind of, we're all going to video now is not surprising, but at the same time, when I worked at TechCrunch 10 years ago now, and the whole thing was like everything has to be video forward. All the stories that get published have to have some sort of video component.
Pivot to video.
Yeah, pivot to video. And a lot of the writers were like, no, I don't know how to do that. So that was part of my job. But, it ended up being something that was, I get, we all thought like, yeah, that was just a stupid thing that a bunch of people pumped money at and it never really went anywhere. But it's back. And it's back in force. The idea that video is the way that we are consuming content is a drastic change from where we were in let's call it 2017.
And this is why we don't have radio anymore. It's why we don't have podcasting anymore, because video always kills it.
Yeah, you remember radio? It was so fun.
I have a slightly I actually don't disagree with anything Justin said, but I have a different take on this story. I think one of the other things it points out is that podcasting is an open system, and podcast fans like it that way. They don't want to have to download Wondery or pay for a Wondery app to get it. When they will pay for exclusives or extra podcasting stuff is when it's part of another audio app, like Spotify has shown. And I think what Amazon recognized was, it's a losing money business to try to make podcasts a business app of its own with a walled garden, but we have Audible and it's making money. We can expand the Audible audience by using the best podcasts that fit there to go there, and then the rest of it just goes back out into the open system, like with the Kelsey podcast and all of that.
It is, and the other thing with video is like you could strip the video and voila, it's audio. So it's much more difficult to go the other way, right? To kind of plug in.
Not
video
with VO3. Okay,
it's also difficult with VO3.
And so when you make a video podcast, it doesn't mean you're foregoing a straight audio podcast. It just means you've created one content that you can separate into two different locations. Your typical, your typical video platforms, whether it's a YouTube or whatever, TikTok, and you have the audio that you can then pump into any other part that you've missed. It's just,
Tom, I do think that your point is well taken. Wondery was positioning itself as a curative brand that you wanted to subscribe to, much in the way that, you have art brands like A24 or, Criterion might be a better thing.
Mubi, one of those. Yeah.
That there's something where it's like, I always like the things that come from Wondery. Now, I think that their diversity of content probably betrayed a little bit of like, all right, there's no real template for what a Wondery podcast is. It turned out it was just, a popular podcast is something that Wondery is going to try to do. But it's not that audio is ever going to go away. From the very beginning of podcasting, it's hard to get new audience. It's hard to find new audience because podcasting tends to be an end destination. You love either something or someone so much that you're going to dedicate a significant period of time for them, which has created very, very loyal audiences. Thank you to everybody who's listening right now. But in the growth world, which is what big media companies and now the new inheritors of those thrones like Amazon are looking for, they need new eyeballs. They need to find out if they supercharge a product as hard as they can with money, are they going to find an audience? And right now that audience is watching short form and long form video in a way that they will never find it on audio only.
Yeah,
yeah.
There's a limited pool for radio and podcasting, and so if you make video, you expand that pool. You reach people that wouldn't come into that audio only pool. That makes perfect sense to me.
At the same time, I mean, as all of us who are, podcast producers, video and audio, there's that whole component of like, well, how do you reach the new folks? Social network. Like, there's a whole other job that is associated with getting those eyeballs that you don't have now. And you just don't get it organically. I mean, sure, somebody does. You get a slam dunk and you get lucky, and that's fine. But for the most part, you have to work at that. And that becomes a job that is hard for a lot of content creators because it's like, we're not good at that. Some people are, and I am definitely not. I'm horrible at self-promotion. And, you sort of wonder like, gosh, am I just like yelling out into the ether? Yeah, you are sometimes.
Well, especially if you want to pursue that growth level, right? It's one thing to say, oh, I'm yelling out into the ether, but it's like, I got a few hundred people listening. That's not nothing, right? But can you build a business on it? And would Amazon be satisfied with it? Absolutely.
Exactly.
Not.
That's where it comes in. It's like passion project. I mean, do it all day. I mean, I love them. I do many of them myself. But when it comes time to look at the bottom line, Amazon was like, Wondery is not really working out for us. Besides some of our really really celebrity focused podcasts.
Well, I think they looked at it and said this would work better in Audible. Why are we paying to separate it when the things that are working about it can go into Audible, make Audible better, and we spend less money doing it?
Yeah.
I do think that it's very interesting that podcasting is finding itself, at least with these big media companies, as an ancillary product, or at least something that is combined onto another thing. Spotify, as you mentioned, Tom, predominantly a music site, and then podcasts and now audiobooks. Meanwhile, Audible is saying, well, we're primarily audiobooks, but now we have podcasts. And who knows, maybe they'll just combine Amazon Music into Audible and it'll just be a full-on Spotify competitor.
Well, Justin, if I can finish this conversation up by relating it to the most important topic, journalism, that's kind of been the way it always is, right? The broadcast journalism people always know that the TV people get a lot more attention than the radio people. And then the print journalism people are always like, wow, why do you both get more attention than we do?
Probably because the print people are uglier.
Oh, so you're a print.
I'm a print
people
guy.
should know Justin got a print journalism degree when he says
I'm a print guy,
that.
but I'm too hot, so I went into podcasting.
Yeah, right. That's the way it went.
I mean, you do have really good hair.
Thank
Let's
you.
be honest.
Thank you.
Okay, he has the best hair of us all.
It's just facts. Yeah,
it's just facts. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna argue with you about that. Switching gears quite a bit, when we all eventually pass away, and we all will, hopefully not tomorrow or the next day, we will often leave it to loved ones to write up our obituary or eulogy. But AI seems to have found a bit of a foothold in the space. And Roger, I know you've been following this story.
Yeah, so the Washington Post, Drew Harwell wrote up a piece about the use of, or the increasing use of AI, generative AI tools by loved ones, as well as funerary homes in memorials, eulogies, obituaries, things that we often say about someone who has recently departed. Funeral directors are increasingly asking the relatives or loved ones of the deceased whether they would prefer an AI to kind of fill out the obituary for them, just kind of give them bits of information about the person, and you press the button and it turns out something that ideally sounds a little more better on the ears than me. It's like, oh, he was my dad, I feel bad. We also have tech startups that are basically online obituary generators that will, for a small fee, just crank something out for you that you can put in the newspaper. And finally, there are those who have concerns that perhaps laying so much of this work on these systems kind of takes away the humanity, the soul, as it were, of the whole point of like writing something heartfelt, writing something that is very touching. Because oftentimes when people do a eulogy or even obituary, it isn't like a 100% like this guy's A1, A-OK, perfect brother, son, or whatever. Oftentimes we put in a little bit of what we found annoying about them. They were never on time. They never paid fully all the money they borrowed or anything like
You're
that.
talking about a eulogy, not an obituary for that kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
okay,
for eulogy or
right.
even
You
in
make it a
memorials.
little funny, you know. Like,
but even memorials, I've seen, like people not stinging, but kind of framing them as an actual person. They aren't this sort of idealized, statue of an individual. And so I was wondering, and I was curious, because so many of us have had to go through this. Is it something you would look forward to? I would definitely, for example, use these tools to at least come up with a list of ideas, but I would still write it myself.
Sure. I think that's
I think
reasonable.
that's what AI is for a lot of people anyway. For example, sometimes I run something through ChatGPT, like, give me bullet point lists of what you think the talking points are. And then I use that to, kind of craft what I will eventually say or talk about type thing. That is, it's a tool. It's a tool. That's what it is. It is not a replacement. It is a tool.
Yeah. And people in the chat are like, I don't want it to hallucinate about me in my obituary. And yes, you're going to have someone look it over and make sure that it's accurate.
You got bigger problems, kiddo.
Yeah, I mean, believe me. If it hallucinates, at least I hope it hallucinates.
You know what's funny is
Yeah.
when you brought up this story, Roger, I didn't think about it for me at all until we were doing our pre-show meeting, and that idea came up of like, for me, I was like, oh, I never once considered, do I want this to happen to me because of what Justin just said? Like, I won't care. But I definitely thought about it in relation to my relatives, and it reminded me when my mom died, the funeral home offered to write the obituary. And of course, they would write it by asking us questions and then letting us approve the final copy.
Right.
And I don't see this as being that different.
No.
In
That's
that case,
like kind of the same thing, right? It's like
I said,
give us your talking points of all the things that you would like us to include about your mom, and we'll make it nice.
and it might do a better job than the funeral home director, who, yes, does this for a living, but may not be a naturally great writer.
We are all incredibly bad people to talk about this in particular, because we have all at one point in our lives profited from professionally writing. So the idea of writing something ourselves is not something that we have a ton
you're absolutely right.
of
When the funeral home
trepidation.
director offered to write my mom's obituary, I said, hold my beer, and wrote one in 2 seconds. And was like, what about this? Because that's what I do. But most people are not going to be able to do that.
No, and they feel a lot of trepidation about it. And the last thing you want to do in a moment of grief is also put yourself in a situation where you feel judged for a skill that you don't have a ton of confidence in. I don't think that this is necessarily anything other than just busy work that will go faster for a very unique job as a mortician.
Also, having gone through this when my dad died, and my mom and I were sitting at the funeral home, and they were like, "Okay, you're going to have, in the local newspaper, the obituary, and what would you like to say? You've already paid for this." And we were sort of like, what do we say? He was great, love him. We were just
right.
we just weren't prepared for this. And even if you are a great writer, there are certain instances where you're not going to be a great writer because of the circumstances. Or you're gone, and the people after you just say, you know what, I don't want to put this on you. I think it's a great option. I do.
I think one of the things that I've noticed just going through it right now is that oftentimes you don't want to give too much personal detail to complete strangers. Granted, they run the funerary home, they run the gravesite, or wherever you're going to do the service, but it's a very intimate process. And if you can do it and you're pretty assured that it's just between you and the LLM, you don't feel as closet. You don't feel as like
you feel free to try out some stuff, and if it doesn't work out, you're not going to get judged by the
well, it's not
director.
even just a judgment, but you don't feel that like there's stuff that about my dad, like or my mom or whatever.
Well, because the one thing in the obituary I wrote for my mom that got taken out was because my sister said, "Well, I wouldn't say that." It wasn't. it was just a personal opinion.
Also, I mean, obituaries are not eulogies, right? So they're not.
There's two different things we're talking
there
about
to
too.
be touching or personal or to evoke emotional experience. It is a public notice, so people that might not be inside your
he is
family
survived by
sphere,
his son and daughter
would know. And so, really, what you're doing is just having a conversation to say this name died, and then someone's like, "Oh, like from high school." And then you read lower.
She went
it's like
to Notre Dame High School in St. Louis.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
That's that. It's that Diane.
Yeah.
I remember
So it's
her.
like,
oh, her maiden name was Burnt. Yeah. All of that.
Education, maiden name, job they did the most in their life. Did they go to the military? Like that, and then who they're survived by. That's usually what you're looking for. It's pretty solid in terms of news copy. And that is something where you could probably generate it by way of a Google form.
Yeah, you wouldn't need a full LLM to do it, but an LLM could also do it.
No. You feed those results into an LLM and then
it'll boom. Exactly.
But these are also being used to craft eulogies, memorials, like things that go beyond just the newspaper post. And it's interesting because oftentimes you're not sure what to include or what to exclude, right? There are aspects of a person that maybe not flattering, but they are part of who they were.
Sure, but again, it's like if we're a bad panel to talk about writing professionally, we're an exceptionally bad panel to talk about writing and speaking publicly, because we all do it for money, and a lot of people. There's only one way.
You do it for money? Oh, I just did it for fun.
Wait, we get paid?
There's only one thing more terrifying than being judged for their writing. It's being judged for their writing in front of a group of their peers in a public speaking scenario. So how anybody looks to do it, that is what it is. But I do think that this is a little overblown in terms of like, are we losing our humanity? It feels a little...
No, it feels like something that, not everybody is going to take advantage of. And sometimes it could be really, really helpful.
Yeah, it actually could make someone do a eulogy when they wouldn't otherwise, which would allow them to be more human, right? And be able to participate.
And for one, at least for one of the people they interviewed, they said that it really helped because it allowed them to get 75% of through the process because they didn't know where to begin, they didn't know how to start, and it was very helpful. They finished it themselves, but it was a very very useful tool for them.
And like Sarah said, even people who are good at this sort of thing, are in different states, when of grieving and depending on the nature of the death, there's all kinds of reasons why it could be useful for all kinds of people.
Yeah. All right. Well, we love to hear your feedback on each and every show. So, without further ado, let's check out the mailbag.
Joshua from Indiana writes, your discussion on last Friday's DTNS Live of Sarah potentially being in the Amazon delivery confirmation photo of the rice cooker that was ordered for Live With It reminds me of the time my cat did just that. Attached is the Amazon delivery confirmation photo with my tuxedo cat, Lady Victoria Rosalie Belladonna the Pirate Princess, in the background. And yes, I was required to include her full name and title. Of course.
Oh my God. Oh, anybody who's not watching the video, so cute. Good old Lady Victoria, just like, is that mine? Yep.
That's not
put
for
it right
me.
Here.
Why are you putting that there? That's in my way.
Put it right here.
Take it away.
I will say, and I know I will save, the fireworks for our Live With It segment, but the rice cooker is the best thing that ever happened to me.
Oh,
and
really?
I know just last Friday, I was like, I made rice and I made hard-boiled eggs. I have made just like meals in them over the weekend. Just going a little nuts.
That's
it's
amazing.
The best. And I finally got it to speak English to me rather than Korean.
Okay, good.
And now it makes a lot more sense. Because before I was like, I don't know know. You just seem to be saying the same thing to me over and over. And then when it turned to English, it was like, you have to go to lock from unlock. I was like, that is very important. Okay. Yes, that's why you kept saying that to me in Korean over and over for like half a day.
And now you know how to say that in Korean, which that's
totally. It's the best thing. Honestly, not everybody needs a rice cooker. Not pushing it on you, but this is one fun gadget.
Have you gained new perspective?
This is going to be one fun live with it.
Yeah.
Because
I think so.
When I was like, we're getting you the rice cooker, I was like, you're going to say like, yeah, okay, it's easier. And it's like gone well beyond that. Like I'm curious to find out all the various ways that you're putting it to use. It's so cool.
Well, because you can it's like set and forget it.
Yeah.
And then, not that
Sounds
I don't like
so
to,
simple.
be in the kitchen. I do.
Yeah.
But it's like there's
Makes a world
certain
of difference.
things that just like if I can just do that over in the corner and not think about it.
You don't have to
I
worry
think
about
I'm
it.
15 hours before I need it.
I'm going to be using my rice cooker in new ways after listening to all of this. Like, yeah.
Justin Robert Young, are you a fan of the rice cooker?
So I'm trying to cut down the old LPs. So rice has actually been cut out of the diet recently. But as soon as I hit my target weight, there'll be plenty of rice to be had, and I'll
can
make
make
sure to
hard-boiled
find a
eggs
cooker
in
for
it.
Fun
Protein.
fact.
Oh.
Yeah. You can make well, depends on how big the chicken is, but you can put an entire chicken into this thing and just steam it to heck, and it's lovely.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Well,
All
maybe
sorts of
I'll have to
stuff.
wait for the live with it.
Maybe so. All right. Well, I won't go on and on about my rice cooker, which is my best friend currently. But remember, if you have comments on anything that we talk about on the show, have comments on what we should talk about on a future show, or anything in between, do send it our way. feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. And if you're a patron, of course, you can comment on anything that we post to Patreon as well. Justin Robert Young, such a pleasure as always. Let folks know what's up with your latest.
Well, you can find politics wherever you get podcasts. And on YouTube, we're pivoting to video, friends. YouTube.com/politics. However, I do also want to point out I will be at DEF CON this weekend. So I know that there's definitely a crossover audience for DTNS. Come on by the Hack 5 booth. Say hello. I'll just say, if you go to hack5.org, there's a countdown clock as we record this. It'll be done before you know it. There's going to be some really, really, really cool stuff on there to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Hack 5, and you'll be able to see whatever there is to be seen at the booth in person if you're at DEF CON. So come on by, say hello.
Fantastic. Go check it out, hak5.org for that. During the show, you have responded to Sarah's call, and we applaud you for that. Submitting titles in the number of 44 episode title submissions at dtns.showbot.tv. And we've got a 4-way tie with 4 votes each for these 4 titles. Lion Jim Video, Jury's Metaphors, one leg at a time.
He does love his metaphors.
Fred 819, This Week in Unnecessary Censorship. JPEG 84, The Tootsie Roll-Up Screen.
Oh, Tootsie Roll-Up. Gosh, when's the last time you had a Tootsie Roll-Up?
And the Wraith 86, It's a Wondery Strife.
Yeah, I get it.
Bubbling Under, JPEG 84 with The Vine Might Grow Again. We've got Past Squatch from Batpig 2001. I think that's a Sasquatch in the past reference. Yeah, there's all kinds of
Video
good
killed
ones
the
here.
podcast star from JPEG.
Yeah,
So
that's
we
good.
also video killed the radio star. Yeah.
To Cav or Cav Not from Batpig 2001.
The joy of rice cooking from the Reverb mic. Listen,
Nice.
I know not everybody wants rice. This thing can do it all.
A rice cooker can be your best friend, writes JPEG 84.
You know, half of I'm sure I'm going to go on a limb and say half of humanity has access or uses a rice cooker on a regular basis.
You might be right.
Half
might
of
very well be
humanity?
right. Yeah.
I don't know about all
Look
that.
to your left, look to your right. One and a half of you have a rice cooker.
Stand up, sit down, fight.
There's 3. Sarah, what should we pick as our title today?
Well, this was a tough one because we got lots of good titles, but we are going with JPEG 84's The Vine Might Grow Again.
Like King Arthur, the once and future Vine. Good one. Big thanks to everybody who supports us in all the various places like LinkedIn. Thanks again to Laminar Rainbow for that super sticker when we were talking earlier. Big thanks to everyone who supports us on Twitch. For example, Zoe Brings Bacon with some bits. Nick with a C, 24 months at Tier 1. They've been subscribed for 37 months too. Happy Subversary Internet to Nick with a C. Zoe Brings Bacon resubscribed at Tier 1 themselves for 48 months. They've been subscribed for 75 months. And thanks to the folks who gave us raises on Patreon, George, Matthew, Joe Chen, Johan, and Paul all upped their subscriptions. Thank you so much for seeing the value in what we do. We truly, truly appreciate it. If you haven't checked it out yet, we have a store at dailytechnewsshow.com/store. I highly recommend the mouse pads. They're only $14 and they are durable. They're lovely. They have the Daily Tech News Show logo on them, so it's a very splashy bit of color for your desktop. But we also got mugs, we got stickers, we got shirts. Go check it out, dailytechnewsshow.com/store.
Reminder, you can watch us live Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern. That is 2000 UTC, and you can find out more at dailytechnewsshow.com/live. We're back doing it all again tomorrow, and we hope to see you or hear from you then.
The DTNS family of podcasts, helping each other understand.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.